Hi there, I'm coming to you from my studio and I'm sharing my recent, I'm going to call it a sketchbook. What it actually is a collection. I did a 100-piece project. I know some people do the 100-day project. I just did 100 pieces. Some days I did a bunch, some days I did none. I tried to make it pretty flexible so that I would actually see it through. You put too many rules in front of me, and I don't tend to work well that way. So the project was this. These are 5.5-inch squares. They're in pairs. They each use the same collage material. So like the purple here is up here, the chartreuse green is up here, the book page, right? So it's the same 5 pieces of the same collage material on 2 different backgrounds. So I tried to do, like, this is a light background, this is a darker background. Sometimes they were different shades of the same color, sometimes they were very opposite colors. And I wanted a way to keep this collection together. And I looked online, I looked in shops, and I was not really sure how I was going to do it. So I finally decided I'm just going to make my own sketchbook. This is a piece of chipboard or backer board, I think it might be called. And I just covered it. I had this piece of hand-painted paper that I wasn't doing anything in particular with. And I covered it on the outside, and then I just put a little bit smaller sheet on the inside so that it would have a nice finish. I used book rings. These are called book rings, and they separate so you can take out and put in pages. And they come in different diameters. These are 2-inch book rings only because this is a really thick project. I don't think I will always need 2-inch book rings. But I just wanted to flip through this because when I did this, this project, I was really thinking, okay, what am I trying to accomplish? And I was really trying to just focus on improving my composition, my ability to look at it and visually respond to everything that I did. So if I collage down like this book page, for example, okay, now I collage down this gray piece of paper. Okay, my response to that was these are both very neutral, right? So now I collage something that's very saturated in color. I tried to, and one thing I like in composition is when there's, I'm going to call it tension, right? If everything were perfectly balanced and everything was equidistant from each other or same in size, or things like that, there wouldn't be a reason to keep looking at it. It wouldn't move the eye around. It wouldn't interest me. And so I tried to make compositions that I found were interesting. So I'm just going to flip through some of this because I don't think you need to see the whole thing, but you'll notice the theme, right? Same papers, 2 different color backgrounds, a lighter blue and a darker blue. The next one is a light blue again and a darker blue. I think I had an abundance of blue backgrounds. Same papers, right? So let me flip through a couple of these. Again, have a penchant for blue, apparently. Now here is a blue, and then this is sort of a mauvey kind of color. I'm not really sure, you know, what I would title that color. But again, just looking at how I put things together. And the project was done. I collaged down 5 pieces of paper until I had collaged all 100 pieces. And then I looked at each piece individually and I added either a pattern or a scribble with a fine line applicator bottle. Some of them I did a splatter. Some of them I'm trying to come across some of the other ones. And again, this was just like, what don't I have, right? I don't have, let's see, okay, these 2 go together. So, you know, I don't have anything round. So on this one, I actually put a scribble because I didn't have anything super light. And then I put these dots on there. So I added a pattern and a scribble on this one. Some of them just a scribble, some of them just a pattern. And it just all depended on what I was looking at and how I felt I could improve the piece. And again, you look at the backgrounds, two different colors, similar in value. They're both sort of a deep mid-tone, but the yellow on this purple is really a highlight, right? The yellow here, it shows, and it's also a highlight, but it's not as contrasting as against purple. So these are the things that I was noticing as I was making it, and then also as I was reviewing it. And I mean, I have everything in here. I had words cut out of magazines. I had my hand-painted papers. This, I think, was an envelope from a birthday card. Lots of my painted papers. Here's a splatter, right? So you can just see adding a little texture, because this had a pattern. This had some texture to it. This had some texture to it. So I didn't want to add more pattern. I added a splatter to that one. And on this goes. And I learned a lot while doing it, to be honest. I think my compositional skills have improved after doing this. At least composition is coming more readily as I try to tackle it, right? And I think there's some value in doing that. And this is just how I archived it, because I mean, I used my inexpensive paint. It's not craft paint, but it's like student grade paint. I used inexpensive paint. I used scraps of paper. I didn't invest a lot in the materials because I didn't want it to be precious. I want it to be something I was just going to play with. And so I also didn't want to invest a ton of money in buying an expensive journal to put these in. So I made a journal from stuff I just had in my studio, which, I mean, for me, it's working out great. And I realize now I can make a sketchbook in any size or shape or diameter that I want, which I think is just, it's really nice. It's freeing. It's not like, oh, I bought this $25, $35 journal and I'm afraid of messing it up. It's like, no, I can do whatever I want and then make one inexpensively that archives all my work. And some of these compositions I really like. Some of them I really learned a lot from. And some of them are, if you're going to have 100 pieces, they're really going to be below average. Now this one I kind of like because there's a lot of, there's a lot of interest in this paper. There's some texture over here. And then I carried the yellow up here. I don't know, it reads to me sort of like a landscape. I kind of like that about it. This one, far more abstract, same exact pieces of paper, just in different ratios and in different arrangements. But that's the project. It goes on and on. I don't think you want to see all 100 of them. But if you're thinking about, sort of building a creative muscle, I think my thoughts on this are: decide what you want to learn about, build up a little experiment for yourself, give yourself parameters, and make it easy, right? I did not say, oh, what's the hardest thing I can do? Because if I do that, I'm going to get discouraged if it doesn't work well, and I might not finish it. And the goal here is really, I want to finish it. I want to learn something from it. And then this just was, I punched holes in here. I put the book rings on, and I created this. See, like here I picked complementary backgrounds, pink and green. And, I really like these compositions. I had this pattern of circles. And these are like random round things that I just, added paint to the edges and then stamped with them. This was, I think I had a broken paintbrush and the handle was a nice round shape, right? So anyway, that's my project. This is my recommendation. If you're going to do experiments and you're worried about the cost of materials, reduce it to the absolute minimum that you can. and enjoy the project. Take what you learn from it and, you know, grow your creativity. I think it's a great way to do that.